Hey folks, Starr here from MasterChef Season 2, and it's the day before Thanksgiving, and in kitchens all over this country, people are pulling their hair out, going crazy, trying to get ready for the big day tomorrow. Now, we all know there are traditional things that everyone eats on Thanksgiving: turkey, stuffing, green bean casserole, whatever that is, all that sorts of good stuff. And you will almost always find on everyone's table across the country cranberry sauce. Some weird gelatinous cylinder of purple goo that is supposedly called cranberry sauce. Now, nothing when I look at that perfect cylinder of goo that retains the shape of the can reminds me of actual cranberries. And since this is the only time of year when cranberries are flooding your grocery store shelves fresh from the Northeast or the Northwest, it's a crime not to use them. So today I'm going to teach you how to make the most delicious fresh cranberry sauce you'll ever have in your entire life. You will never go back to that weird gelatinous ooze that comes out of the can. Alright, so we are going to start with a package of fresh cranberries. Now today I am making a double recipe because I've got a lot of folks to feed. So when I give you the measurements, you can cut them in half. Of course, always on my website, benstarr.com, you can find the recipes. You don't have to write it down while you watch. Alright, so I'm going to add actually 2 packages of the fresh cranberries. And after you make this the first time, you're going to be like, oh, that was so good, and it will disappear so fast that you'll pretty much always end up making a double recipe. These are fresh cranberries from Oregon. They also come from Maine and Washington, British Columbia. Beautiful fresh cranberries. Now definitely look through them to make sure there aren't any rocks or sticks or twigs, because these are a fresh product and they're absolutely beautiful. If you've never eaten a fresh cranberry, put it in your mouth and taste it. They're very, very tart, not very sweet at all. So to that, I'm going to add 4 Granny Smith apples that I've peeled and diced into small cubes. And if you'll dice your apples into water that has a little bit of vinegar or lemon juice in it, it'll keep them from going brown, which is nice. The cranberry sauce is actually going to stain our apples a beautiful bright pink. To that, I'm going to add a cup of orange juice. And I'm going to add 2 oranges and 2 lemons, zested and juiced. Now the way you zest citrus is you'll use a grater with small holes on it, just like this. And you'll just start to grate it. Make sure you wash it good first. You'll just start to grate it, and you'll see the little bits of zest coming off. You do not want to grate so much that you dig into the actual white, soft part. That's called the pith, and it's very bitter. You don't want that. Just grate the outside colorful layer. That's all you want. Okay, so I am finished zesting my lemons and oranges, and you'll see I've still got orange color all the way around. I did not go into that bitter pith. So make sure you don't do that. Alright, now I'm going to squeeze the juice from these oranges and lemons into my pot. And you'll just kind of hold your hand up here while you juice to make sure to catch any seeds that come out. Now, seasoning. A couple of teaspoons of kosher salt, or if you're using table salt, maybe 1 teaspoon. Some cinnamon, maybe about a teaspoonful. Just a little bit. I like to just kind of give that warm spice flavor to these. And I am going to grate some whole nutmeg into here as well. Nutmeg is one of my favorite spices, but it's overpowering, so just a little bit. Not more than about a half a teaspoon for a double recipe. Quarter teaspoon for a single recipe. Alright, so that is all but 1 ingredient for our sauce. Now we gotta cook it. So with our cranberries and apples in our pot, we're going to add 2 cups of white sugar. That is going to do 2 things. It's going to sweeten, and it's going to give some thickening body to this sauce, so that it's nice and syrupy, sticky sweet, and good. Alright, so now we're going to bring this to a boil. Okay, we're at a boil right now, and if you listen carefully, occasionally you will hear the cranberries pop. They pop kind of like popcorn. They're popping out of their skins and releasing their juices. So it's going to take about 5 minutes from the time you turn on the heat until this is ready. You're waiting for about half of the cranberries to pop open and release their juices. And you'll also notice that your apples will get darker and darker stained the closer you get to that. Okay, we've been going about 5 minutes, and you'll notice when you scoop up here, about half the cranberries are intact. Half of them have collapsed into juice. So we are done. We'll take it off the heat. We're going to finish our sauce with about a half a cup of Grand Marnier. You can also use triple sec or any other orange flavored liqueur. Actually, you can really use any liqueur. And yeah, that's going straight into the hot sauce. Some of the alcohol will immediately evaporate off. You'll still retain a little bit of alcohol, but certainly not enough to get you drunk or your kids drunk, so don't worry about that. Let it cool down, pop it in the fridge, and chill it thoroughly before you serve it. But I like to bring it out and let it rise to room temperature about an hour before it's time for Thanksgiving, because the colder food is, the less you taste those flavors. This is actually a really delicious sauce to be served slightly warm as well, so you can heat it back up if you want to. And if you have any leftovers, which you're probably not going to have, this makes a great compote to top pumpkin gingerbread waffles or pumpkin gingerbread pancakes with the morning after Thanksgiving. It also makes a great topping for ice cream, whether you serve it cold or hot. Pour it right on top of ice cream, it's going to be delicious. I also will generally reserve about a cup or two of this sauce to use in making my cranberry pumpkin swirl cheesecake. That recipe can also be had on my website, benstarr.com. Now look how fabulous this is. This is a far cry from that nasty gelatinous ooze that comes out of a can that's sweetened with high fructose corn syrup and chemically preserved. This was less than 10 minutes, start to finish. There is not an easier way to add a gourmet twist to your Thanksgiving. People are going to freak out over my homemade cranberry sauce. So, hit my website, benstarr.com, for lots more recipes to improve your Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, and thanks for watching.